music connects the generations and how it's part of our heritage and,
That is
well,
cool.
not necessarily ours, our
Yeah.
pasty white asses,
Oh, right.
but how
Hmm.
music is so culturally important and how it ties us to our ancestors and even the future because
Yeah.
well, I'll use old time because that's
Yeah.
what one of the music classes that's offered where I work. Um, they perform songs that are hundreds of years old at this point, and they're still sung all over the world. And our instructors tour and travel all over the world to play this music. So it's a
Yeah,
big
that's
focus on, you know, music as a cultural zeitgeist.
that's really
I
cool.
think that's the word I want to use. It's
Yeah, the
early to be
zeitgeist.
using SAT words.
Yeah.
Oh, but welcome back to the Real Horror Show. We're back after a little break. Stormy is officially the Dr. Stormy Skies. We took a break so she
Yay.
could graduate and get all that shit
Yep,
done.
that shit done. Now it is done.
Now,
Yay.
now we have no excuses for sporadic uploads. One of us is going to have to go back to school.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, But yeah, if you're not familiar with us, we're a horror movie review podcast where we review horror movies from Netflix, Hulu, Shudder, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sam Odie.
I'm your co-host, Stormy Skies.
This week we're reviewing Frewaka, which is a 2024 Irish horror movie directed by Ailyn Clark. Followed by, we follow a student of nursing who is plagued by a trauma from her past that has a disorienting effect on her present, her relationship, her career, and her ability to function. This is how we like to break it down. We start with characters and acting, then go into story and writing, and then we wrap things up with some production notes. Then we like to discuss the real horrors this movie addresses. Sometimes they're serious, and sometimes we like to have a bit of goofy fun. That being said, we are a horror movie podcast, so here's a general trigger warning.
Yeah.
Twigger.
Twigger warning, guys.
We talk
Sorry.
about death, blood, guts, and other unsavory topics that might not be suitable for everyone. Although we try to do so respectively, listeners' discretion is advised. Movies are rated on scale of what the fuck did I just watch, which means there are no redeeming qualities to be found. Meh, it's okay. And ah, yeah, that fucked me up, which is what all horror should strive to be. So let's get started. I think in the 7 or 8 year history of Real Horror Show,
Yeah.
this is the first Irish horror movie or
Yeah.
culturally Irish movie. I'm sure when I opened up Shudder, A Dark Song was already playing, and I can't remember if that was set in Ireland. I just remember we loved it.
We did
Um,
love that. I remember that. I saw that on Shudder too, and I was like, oh shit, Sam, I
and
watched
I
this.
and I'm feeling like someone in that movie was Irish.
Totally. Yeah, definitely
It's
something
been
like that.
years, but I feel like someone in that movie was Irish. But this was the first very culturally, very undeniably Irish movie we've watched where they're speaking Irish, which
Yes.
I
Impressive.
think, I think, forgive me if I'm wrong, Irish listeners. I think we might have one or two. I think Irish as a language is starting to die out because of colonization and the
Oh,
British
totally.
Empire.
I had no idea that it was spoken anymore
Yeah, so
at all.
that was a really nice treat. And I do want to say it is Irish. They're speaking not like Celtic or Gaelic or I'm sorry, it's
Yeah.
early. I can't remember
It's
which one is the Scottish language and which one is the Irish language.
Scottish is Gaelic.
Gaelic, Scottish is Gaelic. I should know that because we watch Outlander sometimes.
Yeah. But is this considered Celtic language
No,
or just Irish?
it's
It's
just
just Irish.
Irish. It's just
Irish.
Irish. It's
Okay.
probably
Oh.
I mean, it's definitely rooted in Celtic, but it's when I looked it up, it
Oh.
was just classified as Irish.
Okay, that's very, very cool. To hear it spoken, it sounds really, really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Love
Nice.
it.
And
Love
those
trying
Irish
to
names, how about that? How they're spelled and how they like are pronounced so
um
differently.
respectively, it does infuriate me sometimes, but
I know they're saying, I'm like, I don't understand. It's really cool. It's really
but you
challenging and
know,
very unique.
honestly, you could just like do that in any language, just have something spelled one way, but it's pronounced a completely different way. Like you could
Totally.
name your child Kyle spelled Kyle, but then say no, it's pronounced Stephen. I mean, what
Yeah,
what
you're
is
right.
stopping you from doing
Literally nothing.
just
Yeah,
your own
your own.
mind?
Yeah, your own mind. Irish.
Yeah, so that was my first note. Oh wait, this movie's gonna be in Irish. That's hella sick, bro.
Yeah, hella sick.
So our two main characters that we care about are Shu,
Sorry.
who is a nurse, and she's there. She goes, her mom has killed herself. Her mom
Rest
was
in peace.
probably very abusive to her growing up because her mother was a devout Catholic, and you know how them Catholics be.
Totally. Just
So
sing that crazy ass song.
yep,
Bad.
she's she's
So,
dealing with a lot of grief and trauma, and to, you know, get away from it all, she takes a job in a remote Irish village to take care of Peg or Peg. Peg, Peg,
I
Peg,
think it's just Peg. Yeah.
Peg. Okay,
That's
cool.
pretty easy.
So Peg just suffered a stroke. She's paranoid, she's agoraphobic, and yeah, she's very tied to the pagan culture, the pagan history, the pagan beliefs of Ireland, and is convinced that on her wedding night, a fairy kidnapped her. And this is more writing, but it's just
Yeah,
general summary stuff. Uh,
totally.
so this movie is very reliant on Peg and Shu to carry it because as Shu spends more time with Peg, Shu becomes more agoraphobic herself and more paranoid and more like, these damn changelings, these damn fairies are trying to get me. They're trying to make
Yeah,
me think my mother is in the basement.
right. Yeah.
And it's important to note for those who are unfamiliar, but we're in a horror community,
Yeah.
so we should know this. Fairies are dicks. And
Yeah, it's not like cute fairies
yeah.
shit.
In in most folklore where
Yeah.
fairies or fairy type creatures are present, they're douchebags.
Yeah.
Which, have you heard the theory that the vampires in Twilights are actually fairy or fae?
No.
It's very interesting. I'll send
Oh,
you notes about it one day when I
y
remember.
yeah, you'll
Probably in the
have
middle of the
to.
night.
Do they like want you to trade stuff? I guess they kind of do.
Hmm.
And like steal all your shit. And you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. It's just like they're just almost they're very like mischievous, but like not in a good way. And like
Hmm.
this movie kind of like portrays them as like demonic, like
Yeah.
straight up.
Which
You know?
fairies are often demonic, especially when changelings are involved because, you know, they'll swap out your baby for another baby
Yeah, that's not
or
cool.
not a baby, a changeling. And
Yeah.
um, I watched this movie in two parts, one a week ago and one this morning. So I'm sorry if I'm confused. Also, this movie doesn't have a Wikipedia page,
I know, I'm looking for it and I can't find it.
which is very troublesome for me because that's what I rely on when we're
Yeah.
reviewing like plot points.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
So we're going blind. But yeah, Shu and Peg, their acting was very good throughout this movie.
yeah.
Despite the big language barrier,
Yeah.
it wasn't that devastating.
It was cool to hear that
It
language.
was very cool to hear that language, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I love that it's is
Like they were,
love
yeah.
letter the right word? It's
I
at
don't
least
know.
preserving this
Yeah.
part of Irish heritage that's being gradually erased throughout the centuries because of the English and colonization,
Yeah.
uh, which is a topic that was brought up a lot in Sinners, actually, in the online discourse revolving around Sinners, because the bad guy is
Yeah.
Irish. So you can make the
Huh.
argument that he too lost a huge part of his culture due to colonization and white supremacy.
Yeah.
And I think that's true because we're sitting here in 2025 amazed that an Irish movie
Yeah.
has the Irish language in it.
Right. Yes, I know. A lot of people, I'm sure, assume that they just spoke English forever. You
Yeah.
know?
Or at least there was Celtic and then
Yeah.
English.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but still, and then having these actors, speak it fluently is really cool, and being
Hmm.
able to switch in between.
I think it's a lot like when we watched Prey a while back, how the movie itself was not filmed in that native language. However, they do
Right.
have the dub with it in that
Yeah.
native language.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's nice that such a um I don't know, I don't want to call horror underground because it's really not underground anymore. People love horror. There's so much horror coming out.
I
Um
know.
it's nice that this, edgy punk genre film is preserving
Yeah.
cultural aspects.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
Yeah.
on to story and writing because I'm tired and I'm rambling.
Yeah, let's go.
So this is what we consider folk horror. And that is a subgenre of horror film and horror fiction that uses elements of folklore to invoke fear and foreboding. Typical elements include a rural setting, isolation, and themes of superstition, folk religion, paganism, sacrifice, and the dark aspects of nature.
Yep.
And I think this movie definitely has all of the criteria to fit into folk horror, including random ominous goats.
Yeah. What's with the goat?
I mean, goats are often like
Yeah.
connected to the devil, like with a witch.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. They're just
Wouldst
like,
thou like to live deliciously?
I feel sad goats are very sweet, but yes, you're right. They can also be like very terrifying.
Yeah, get you an animal who can do both.
I know, right? Yeah. With the goat, for sure.
Um, this movie also explores themes of motherhood, inherited trauma, and societal roles imposed on women, especially within the context of the Catholic Church. And we meet Shu after her mother is dead. She's struggling in her day-to-day life and her relationship, and so she takes a job in a rural Irish village because they need someone who can speak Irish, and she can speak Irish. And there's a great moment when she's heading up there and the bus driver and the old man don't know she speaks Irish because, again, dying language.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Bitch, I understood what you said.
Mhm.
And I actually do want to go to this village. Joke's on you."
Yeah, it's like I'm actually going there. I'm expected. And you're like, oh, okay.
Okay, your funeral,
Okay.
your funeral. Um, so Peg, this elderly woman she's taking care of is very agoraphobic, deeply superstitious, claiming she was abducted by I wrote down the name of the fairy, Nashida? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh shit.
Uh,
Okay,
which is
yeah.
like a mysterious fairy-like being from Irish folklore,
Huh.
and she claims she was abducted on her wedding night in 1973. And there's more evidence that this is just a phenomenon that's happening in this village because when Shu is snooping around downstairs, which by the way, never go into a room
Oh, that's that.
that's covered in charms to keep something from getting out. I don't know.
Yeah, literally painted red.
But she's snooping around. She finds a wedding diary that I think she assumes it's Peg's.
Yeah.
Because why would Peg have a wedding photo album that's not hers?
Yeah, she totally wouldn't.
But as she's flipping through, she realizes this is not Peg's album, and it's another woman who was abducted on her wedding night in like 1968 or something. So there's this phenomenon happening in this village where women are being taken by the fairies on their wedding
Right.
night,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yes. Paige says that the fairies like whenever there's transitory periods such as birth, death, and marriage.
Hmm.
Please continue.
I was expecting you to say more.
Oh no, do you want me to? Yeah, that's just why that phenomenon is happening.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, continue.
So yeah, and the longer she was with Peg, the more entangled she becomes with the woman's paranoia and rituals, leading her to confront her own suppressed memories and fears. Like when she's in that basement the first time and her mother's goes, this moment was terrifying. Like that was such a good
When the
horror.
mom was down there, you mean?
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
singing that song.
Yeah, and coming up the stairs and
Yeah. But like singing in a bad way, so it's like scarier.
yeah. Oh, that was so good.
I know.
Um, so yeah, I don't recommend going into a room that is closed off and sealed with a bunch of charms.
Yeah, and also Pig said that there was a house under the house, and so like that's scary.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go down there. But not Pig. Yeah, she just fucking did whatever. But she was
Mhm.
probably drawn to do that. I'm sure she was not in her right mind.
Yeah.
100%.
And we have the supervisor, Shu's supervisor, who pops up at the
Yeah.
wrong time when she was out of the house picking up her prescription for
Whatever
Peg.
she's on.
And
Yeah.
she's like, oh, you left her unsupervised. That is irresponsible. She could have died. This is going to go on your report.
She's like, sorry. And they're like, it's okay, just don't do it again. And I was like,
Which
wow, okay.
I guess what is Shu supposed to do? I mean, I guess she could call the
Nothing.
pharmacy and have them deliver it because
Yeah.
Peg has gotten her medicine somehow
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So I wanted to defend Shu and say, well, what the fuck was she supposed to do? The Peg won't leave the house and she needs her medicine.
Yeah.
But I
Exactly.
guess the rational answer is have the pharmacy deliver it, which I don't know if that's a thing in
Right.
rural
Yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
It's
Maybe
a thing
not.
here. I don't do it, but it's a thing here. It's a
Yeah.
lovely thing.
It is lovely.
And there's just kind of creepy vibes throughout the village as you get with folk horror. There's that ginger kid that keeps popping up.
Yeah. And he has the goat too.
He has the goat. Goats are never a good sign in horror movies.
Yeah, for real. And like the ginger like kid, that's always a scary sign. Like the super redhead ginger.
Yeah. But is
Yeah.
it scary in an Irish movie?
I don't know. They chose a ginger boy, so maybe.
Oh, you know what? That is true. And now that you mention it, he is like the only pronounced ginger
Yeah, everyone
in
else has
this
dark
movie.
hair. Yeah, or like blonde. Yeah, maybe they see that as like he's like got all like the I don't know, like the cultural like uh traits, which is just like pale skin, like
Hmm.
carrot top head and like probably blue eyes or something like that. Just looks like a but like that's creepy. It
It is.
is. So they're like, let's just choose this creepy kid. And maybe also because it's a child too, that's a little creepy and off-putting because there were no other children in that village.
Oh, you're right.
Ah.
Where are the children? I guess the fairies have taken them all.
Yeah, and replace them with like demons.
Yeah.
You
Which
know.
I was reading some Reddit threads because,
Yeah,
again, there's no Wikipedia page for me to kind of review everything I
yeah,
just saw
yeah,
and
yeah.
verify some things. And people are
Yeah, what are they
suspicious
saying?
that Shu's mom was a changeling because Peg was very perturbed by the fact that Shu's mom had a clubbed foot.
Yeah, yes, yes.
And I know I should have looked this up before we started. Club feet is generally like
Wait, let me.
widely considered a sign of like the devil or something, like a devil born or something.
Oh, yeah, clubfoot deformity.
Because I know
Yeah,
I remember watching an old English horror anthology on
yeah.
DVD, like so old the married couple were sleeping in separate beds because,
Yeah.
can't show them sleeping in the same bed. That's
Right.
horrible.
Totally, totally bad. Yeah.
And the woman like sprained her ankle, so she was limping with a cane, and
Yeah.
everyone in the village is limping because of various reasons, and it's because they all have clubbed feet.
Oh
The
shit.
they all have hooved feet,
Yeah,
and
hooved feet.
yeah. And they take off her shoe to prove she's the chosen one, but it's just a normal foot, and they're like, ah, shit, we exposed ourselves for no reason.
Yeah. Um, I Googled clubfoot deformity superstition.
Mhm.
And it says that if you have a clubbed foot or a clubfoot, it is believed that it is a punishment or curse from a higher power, So they are labeled bad omens or products of witchcraft in some
Mm,
societies.
mm.
So,
I
yeah,
wonder if that at all contributed to her mother's like such devout Catholicism. If she,
yeah,
if her mother thought that she herself was like cursed by
yeah,
a higher power, why she would go so hard into religion, hoping to be
yeah.
saved.
Right. Yes, she did go super hard on religion. Yeah, so it that definitely is a great question. And yeah, maybe that did come into play. Like, so we're saying that if she is a changeling and had a clubfoot, was she self-aware of that, or was
Ooh.
that just like her being religious is just like a cover of like her real nature? I don't know. So that's a great question
Yeah,
too. Like, are they
I'd have to
self-aware?
rewatch and watch more
Yeah.
closely, not taking notes, just watch.
Yeah, totally, because there's not much of the mom.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just like that, those moments where like literally in the beginning of the movie, I thought the mom was the bride from the
Yeah,
very beginning. I
yeah.
didn't realize it was like the daughter of the bride,
It
so
was, yeah, it was
yeah.
Peg. That was, I think, Peg's wedding we
Pe-
saw at the very
Yes,
beginning.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, we were led to believe it wasn't, and that's why it was surprising that Peg, we learned that, spoiler
Hmm.
alert, that's the grandma. So yeah.
Yeah, so
And anyway.
yeah, late a little later,
She gets
su
fucking scary later.
the supervisor comes back
Oh
and um
yeah. It's
Shu
just like, hey.
she's like, I don't bite, and then she keeps repeating that over and over
Oh
again.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so Shu goes and gets some salt and some other stuff to ward off what she thinks is now an evil spirit. And like this movie is very good at like what's strictly in Peg and Shu's head and what is actually happening
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
world around them. So
Yes.
if the supervisor wasn't being weird and just repeating, I don't bite, I don't bite, I don't
Yeah.
bite, I don't bite,
Right. Yes.
she was kind of asking to get salt dumped on her head if
I
she was doing
know.
that.
Yeah, she didn't have to be creepy. She could just keep pretending that she's
Yeah.
normal.
And then Peg wants to confront the red door herself, so she does that. She knocks and sees the ghost of her husband. She gets dragged down the stairs and the door locks and she can't open it, and then it opens by itself and we see a dark hallway illuminated by a single glowing cross.
Yeah. The freaking Dayglow Cross shit is also like creeps me the fuck out too.
And then
Yeah.
Peg claws her way back up the stairs and she needs help. She's bleeding out, so she runs into town and can't find anybody until she finds the kid wearing a creepy mask. And of course, this is folk horror,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're all wearing traditional garb.
Yeah, because it's
Um,
the festival and
it's the
everything in town's
festival.
closed and nobody's there. It's
Because
so scary.
this is folk horror, and there's always got to be some kind of creepy
Gotta be
festival
a
in
festival.
folk horror, like with the
The,
Wicker
the
Man
oh yeah, yeah.
and Midsommar.
Midsummer. But I would love to look into like what all of these creepy ass masks are for. Like if this is based on like a real festival,
Mhm.
like a pagan festival, I need to like understand what all that shit is because that was so terrifying to just
Yeah,
see in broad daylight too. It wasn't like nighttime,
yeah.
and I was like, oh
Well,
my God. Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
All Hallows Eve in Samhain,
Yeah.
they would wear masks to ward off the evil spirits who
Yeah,
were crossing
yeah.
over on that sacred night. So I was wondering, maybe it's something like that, but these people kind of
Yeah.
are the evil spirits.
Yeah, and yeah, they were wearing like masks, but they were like some had like the hoods with I don't know, like whenever the masks get like really tall like that and are made of like hay, I don't it's
Yeah,
so crazy. But yeah, it might be something like that.
yeah.
So I will have to read I can't read the Wikipedia. I'm gonna have to read the interviews or
We're
something.
gonna have to rewatch the movie.
Yeah, rewatch the movie. I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned
Like
way,
I
just like
even looked on
read.
IMDb in the trivia section and there wasn't really anything. Just
Dang.
explaining what Frewaka means, and it's the phonetic
Roots.
spelling of
Yeah.
uh the Irish word for roots.
Yeah.
So,
Which I thought Frewaka was like maybe the name of like fairy or fairies or something, but no, it's just rude. So I was like, oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so she runs back to the house where Peg is still bleeding out and they lock themselves in the attic so they can't get to them. And we hear just an assortment of voices of people we've met throughout the movie
Yeah.
saying, "Let us in. We're just here to help. Let us in. We need to help. What's wrong? I have a feeling something's wrong." And finally, Shu, presumably Shu, stabs Peg in the eye.
I thought Pig stabbed herself in the eye.
Did Peg stab herself in the eye? I must
Yeah.
have blinked. I must have
Yeah, it
blinked.
was super fast though. Um, she was looking in the mirror and like seeing visions of her mother about to hang herself, and then Paige wanted to break her free of that because they wanted her. So she found the doorknob and quickly just stabbed herself really super fast and was suddenly dead.
Da,
That
da,
did
da.
the trick, I guess.
Yeah, and like you just said, the fairies appear during transient time, so death, birth, marriage.
Yeah.
Uh, Shu is then taken by the fairies. She puts on the wedding dress or just
Dude, yeah,
like the
what
white
is this
dress.
all about?
What is this all about? This is why I need the
Yes.
Wikipedia page because
I
that's why I was scouring Reddit is I
don't
was looking for
understand.
someone to like do a
Explain the ending.
paragraph.
Yeah, like please explain the ending. Don't understand.
I'm not smart anymore. I've been out of school too long to do analysis.
Me too. So I was literally just sitting there as just like a normie viewer, and I was like, this is scary.
It's so
Don't
scary.
know what this means. Who's these people? How did she get outside? Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
so yeah, she's taken by the fairies, and again, what's real and what's not real, we don't know.
I don't know.
And she starts crying blood.
Yeah, why is she doing that?
Hmm.
Who is she marrying? That man
Well, she
with
had
the
a
horns?
girlfriend,
Where
and
is she? Her car's there. I don't know what's happening. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I wasn't aware of this until I was reading the Reddit threads. There is a mid-credit scene, after credit scene, where her girlfriend is sitting in outside the door, sobbing and begging to have have Shu come back.
Oh.
So,
Oh shit.
yeah, this is
Okay.
definitely a movie that warrants a second watch to
Well,
figure out
damn.
all the nuances.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it with Luke. And then, well, actually, I didn't know there was a post-credit scene. Holy shit, I'll have to watch that. Damn.
Yeah, I'm glad I
Support me too.
read
Yeah,
the Reddit
Jesus.
threads.
Jesus shit. I was, yeah, because I was gonna be like, is she just like gone? The car.
Hmm.
Oh God. Anyway, I'm looking at a picture of the people in like the festival parade. And like, okay,
Are
so the
they?
boy literally looks like he's wearing like the skin of somebody else over his face.
Ooh.
And then the two dudes next to him are like wearing like this red, there's no arms, and it's like red, like cloth with white in the middle. And then everyone behind them has suits on, and then their head gear is like made of hay, and it's really, they're all like pointy cones. What
Hmm.
is that? So anyway, I don't know. I'll have to like figure out what the fuck
Yeah.
is up with that.
So
Yeah.
I guess moving into production,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie does have just immaculate folk horror vibes
Yeah.
set in the Irish countryside. It was so well shot,
Yeah.
and I expect nothing less coming from the once pagan capital of the world,
Yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah, I'm glad they did like a super scary, like scary Irish shit stuff because like that
Yeah.
shit is pretty scary when you like sit down and like
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
Um, Peg's house is my dream house, just in the countryside, and I want to start
Oh,
hanging drying flowers all over my home like that.
the wards. Yes.
It's very, very charming, very cottage core, if you will.
Very cottagecore.
And then, of course, the stunning score is written by Di Hickson. It's just so tense and unsettling.
It
And going
is.
back to that first scene in the basement where the mom is coming up the stairs to get Shu, just wonderfully done.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, and again, I wish there was a Wikipedia page because that's where I pull a lot of my production notes.
Yeah, shit.
You know, how they filmed this, how long it took to film, how they casted it. Make a Wikipedia page, Aylin Clark.
hmm Yeah, damn. Go
Um,
girl.
and again, a lot of this stuff also wasn't on IMDb, which I also go to pull my production notes. So my only production notes come from what I saw in the movie, and it was just that it was beautifully shot and the score is kick-ass.
It is kick-ass. Yeah. Um, yes, it was very, very scary. Um, the the imagery is so very unsettling. A lot of the horror, I mean, like there are night sequences, but a lot of the things that are scary happen in the day.
Hmm.
Um, And I'm glad we do get a shot. We get a shot of like that scary village that becomes like a ghost town straight up. And
Yeah.
then like at the end outside we get like the beautiful Irish like green hills, and like the mountainous region. So that's cool too, but both are scary. Um and Production, I would say, yeah, like it is very well shot. There's not a whole lot of gore, but there is some when there needs to be because there's not a whole lot of like
Hmm.
violent body horror.
Mm-mm.
But it's just like it's shot so bright, the color's so full, um, but it's still creepy. I don't know if that makes sense. And so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I have any other production notes.
I don't
Not at this
either.
time. Not at this time. But I do like how they make a lot of it, a lot of what happens, you're like questioning Shu because she's like, well, my mom was crazy and like I might be crazy. And then she like is taking these pills. I don't even know what she's taking. And she's having these crazy ass nightmares and screaming and shit. And you know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
um we do have those moments where like, well, like what is actually happening? And what is just in her head. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
realistic aspects. Your abusive mother committing suicide and still abusing you from beyond the grave.
Yeah, totally that. Let's see. Having to clean up her apartment and you don't want to, so you like leave your girlfriend behind to do it,
Hmm.
and being the girlfriend and having to do it all by yourself.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, just I guess just living in with a person who is so superstitious like that, that it starts to get to you. Being in a place with no cell phone service and like people calling you and shit all the time. I don't know, being in that uh like very remote Irish village where people just speak Irish and
Hmm.
it's like very secluded.
Yeah, being an outsider in a small town always
Yeah.
sucks.
Right, right. Yeah, being totally secluded. It's just the two of these women, so there aren't any like extra outside things.
Yeah,
I guess living in like this a place where like you have these superstitions where like you can be worried that like people might like steal your child or something when they're born, or like
yeah.
you might have to trade for them or something, or
Yeah, I
trade
guess
your
being
life.
kidnapped by fairies, that's always a possibility.
Right. Yeah, like on your wedding night, or like
Yeah.
not just never being safe because of being a mother or something.
Yeah, that really sucks.
Yeah, totally. That's everything. There's
Yeah.
not too many. I don't
I
think
think
there's too many.
that's all I have, and I'm gonna give this an yeah, that fucked me up.
Oh yeah, that fucked me up. I was really, really super pleased. This whole thing was really a good movie.
Yeah,
So that was really cool. So yeah, I look forward to watching it again for sure.
definitely.
That would be sick to watch it again. Yeah, yeah, so we did all of that. So yeah.
It's time to wrap it up with our end notes.
Yeah, we
I
should make the Wikipedia page. Nah, we can't because we don't know enough stuff.
We
Who
don't know
usually
enough.
makes the Wikipedia pages?
I don't
Like
know who
people,
may. I
yeah.
don't know who makes the Wikipedia pages.
Yeah, who's supposed to do it? Um, I assume someone who might like work on the movie and do like their marketing or whatever.
Hmm.
Okay, well, anyway, that was a fabulous movie. Thanks for tuning into our episode. We are the Real Horror Show podcast. Our host is Sam Odie, and I'm the co-host Stormy Skies. The podcast was created by Sam Odie and Stormy Skies and is directed, edited, and produced by Sam Odie. You can find Sam on Instagram at Sam is writing stuff, and you can find Stormy on Instagram at the Stormy Skies. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play Store, Pandora, and anywhere you like to stream your podcasts. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you're always in the know when a new episode comes out. Follow us on social media. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, and Blue Sky. We do more than just podcasts. We love to write and have plenty of great movie reviews and essays, all of which can be found on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We love hearing from our listeners. You can ask us a question or send us a movie request to review by DMing us on social media, or you can even send us an email at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Call for guests. Do you love horror movies? Are you a podcaster, a content creator, a movie lover, or anyone in between who is a listener to our show? We would love to have you as a guest on one of our episodes. Reach out to us via social media DM or email us at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Our podcast episodes featuring guests are all listed on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We are so thankful for all of our listeners. You are the life force of our podcast, and we wouldn't really exist without you. Thank you all for making this podcast real and supporting us as we record every week. You can support us in different ways, such as liking and sharing our podcast episodes on social media. Giving us a review will help the podcast more than you know and will help other listeners find it too. You can also donate to Real Horror Show by visiting our support page on our website, where you can make a one-time donation via PayPal, buy us a coffee with the buy us a coffee button, or explore our very interesting Amazon wish list. Any other pertinent news?
Not at the moment that I can share.
Yes. Well, Sam just saw the movie Final Destination Bloodlines and she said it was really good.
It was
So
excellent.
that is really cool. And she also said that Sinners was excellent as well. So those are two new horror movies that are out and about, and you guys can go watch them. So that's cool. I will go watch the movie in the movie theater as well. I haven't seen a movie in the movie theater since Nosferatu,
Hmm.
but I wanted to see one every month. And Nosferatu came out in like February.
December.
What?
It was a Christmas release.
Oh, I saw it way later. Hold up. I wrote down when I saw it, girl. Hang on. It's my bullet journal. Okay. Yeah, I saw it in January. Yes, ma'am. I saw it January 11th. Oh, I saw nothing in February, and then I saw Mickey 17 in March, which was just okay. And didn't see anything in April, so now it's time to go again. Okay. Wonderful. Glad we figured that out for me. Um, Apart from that, our outro song is called Creepy Doll by Jonathan Colton, and he can be found at jonathancolton.com. Thank you, fuck off, and have a swell evening. This is Real Horror Show signing off.
Bye.
Bye bye.
And there's a creepy doll that always follows